This week on No Show Prep Book Reviews, we are discussing Bad Business, written by Robert B. Parker and read by Joe Mantegna. This is a book in the Spenser series, and it is about 6 hours long.
All right, man. So Bad Business.
Parker. Robert Parker writes the Spenser series. This is book 30 of the Spenser series, Bad Business. Yeah, unbelievable. So Joe Mantegna is the reader. He is my favorite Spenser reader.
By far, absolutely.
By far. He is just a great reader. He makes women sound like women and men sound like men and distinguishes between characters, which sounds like a common thing. But if you do a lot of Audible, that's not common. So the book starts out when a Spenser is listening to baseball, and he gives a great synopsis about how baseball truly is better on the radio. Like, when you think about American baseball, Ted, like, I know that you think of the heat of summer because we're from the South, and mosquitoes, and maybe the smell of hot dogs cooking. Spenser is sitting back staring out the window, thinking about baseball, listening to the game. When a woman comes in and she tells him that he remarks that she's beautiful like an old, like it's like his grandmother or his mother's catalog models, which means like she's very pretty, but she's not today's idea of IQ. She's not sculpted with abs and muscle, but she's definitely a beautiful one. And she says to him, my husband's cheating on me. And she immediately goes, I know it's hard for you to believe because of how pretty I am. And he makes some comment about how, like, is beauty truly beauty if they have to tell you about it? And it's such a wonderful line.
Isn't it poetry? Isn't that one of his poetry lines that he quotes?
Yes. Yeah. It makes me think, like, if you have to say, like, you know who I am, you're probably not that important. You got to tell me how important you are, you're probably not that important. But so she asked him to spy on her husband to find out if he's cheating or not. And there's a fun moment when Spenser goes to the attorney to get paid because she's too high-bound to pay him herself. And the guy says, you can't actually expect these rates to be this high. And he says, I work for fun or for money. And your client doesn't seem like fun. And yeah, it's a great little moment there. So Spenser, he's on the job for like his second day, and he followed the guy to work, and he's sitting there reading a book, waiting for the guy to come out of work. And it crosses 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and Spenser says, okay, hold on. There's something wrong. So he goes and tries to knock on the door to the building to get inside to check on the guy. And the security officer says, wait just one moment. Next thing you know, the cops show up, and it turns out the husband has been murdered.
Oh, man.
And of course, poor Spenser, second day on the job, and not to worry if your husband's cheating or not. Who cares? She says, Spenser, but what if they blame me? And he says, where were you at? At the movies. Can you prove it? Yes. They're not going to blame you. And Spenser, being Spenser, decides he's got to find out who killed the guy. And this begins our drastic turn down a lane of courtly love. You know what courtly love is, Ted? Courtly love is a romanticized view from the early 12th century. Think like maidens in distress. The idea is that can you truly know love if love is forced? If you are not unbidden to love anyone you love, how do you know you love the person you love?
Sure.
And how do they know they love you unless they go out and sleep with a whole lot of people? So he just somehow finds himself entwined with all these individuals that I keep spousing this to him whenever he says, like, I pretty much saw you and this guy doing something after hours. Pretty sure that's something you want to talk to me about. And they're like, it's not your business, man. We sleep with a lot of people. And Spenser's tossed into this world of everyone's cheating on everybody, and yet everybody says it's okay, but somebody is hiring private detectives to follow everybody. So if everybody thinks it's okay, why are they following? They're paying someone to follow their spouses around. the head of security then then turns up dead, and Spenser's even more confused. Every person he thinks is the guilty party winds up dead.
Mm-hmm.
And it leads you into the fact that this is a big-time successful company, but is it really? And Spenser's got to, at some point, remember that he's not there to do the SEC's work. He's there to figure out who killed Trent Rowley.
Right.
And at the end, I'm not going to spoil the ending for you, but at the end, I hope you're as surprised with who's guilty as I was. It's got all the great lines of the Spenser novel. Hawk is involved. We meet Hawk's girlfriend, which Spenser makes the comment that although they're not serious and she means nothing, it's the only time he's ever seen with the same girl more than once. And she shows up in pretty much like a 4-book series, 4 books in a row in the series, which is very interesting because Hawk is Hawk. It does not have two different storylines within the same book like a lot of authors are good at.
Yeah.
This is definitely a geocentric work. He is simply trying to figure out one thing, but because of the misdirection, not even toward him, just the wonderful weaving of web, it feels like it's actually like 3 different cases in one, where the truth is we're just trying to figure out why Trent Rowley
Gotcha.
died.
You got a lot of intricacy there.
A lot of interest there.
A lot of webs.
It's a short read. You can knock it out on a Saturday. I think it's only like 4 hours long.
Wow.
Which is a dress contrast to the books we normally read. It is a fun book. Spenser is our hero, and there's not really any question about his character. It's clean. He's above the law, but also in the law, he works directly with the cops for most of this book. He doesn't hide anything from them. It's a clean right versus wrong book. It is a mystery. He does not give it away for you. If you don't figure it out before he does, it just sucks when he tells you who did it. It is not a rated G book. He does use profanity left and right. It is very much part of the book. There's not any gore. It is not overly romantic. It is, at that point, a pretty clean book, minus profanity. It's a lot of fun.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I think my favorite line is when the accountant says, I'm oversimplifying this greatly. He was oversimplified anymore. I'm going to put my foot up your briefcase. And he says, if you do that, who's going to solve your accounting issues? I hate when smart people are smart. So it's a lot of fun. Enjoy it. This is honestly this is a book where it has like a flashback moment where it ties together it brings back up all the side characters from the past in a nice little bow where Susan explains, basically brings up all the prior characters, including like Teddy Sapp and the 2 gentlemen from the desert that help in Pop Shot. And it's just a nice moment where she's explaining to another character that the reason these guys are the way they are is because that's how they are. That there's not really to find them.
I'll tell my wife that I am the way I am because that's the way I am.
Right.
So you just don't like Susan, do you?
I hate Susan. Absolutely hate her. This book will make you hate her more.
Yeah. I enjoy the conversations that he has with Susan. I don't not necessarily a Susan fan, but I like the grown up discussions that they have where they both seem like they're actually listening to the other one. And
I think Susan is a unique way of making sure that the reader is caught up on what is going on in case you miss something. Because normally when he asks Susan something, he's normally just saying, hey, reader, hey, are you paying attention? I said this. There's a reason I'm telling you about it. And
I mean, in some books, I think their discussions are rather annoying. I don't understand them, but yes, she definitely likes to reveal. But I don't particularly like a certain cop TV show because they all stand around the room and do like the profiling thing. I'm not much on profiling, claiming that because somebody acts a certain way means that they might do this also. Maybe it's true, but cool deal, man. So I have to check out some. I love their living arrangement. I think I'll say that too. I like Spenser's living arrangement. They both live separately and they meet up for dinner. And sometimes they stay the night over at either one's house, but they share a dog.
Yeah. And I
And
love the fact
monogamous.
that like there's no pressure on either side of it.
I love the monogamy from our hero. He's not. He can be trusted with around other women. Man, they throw themselves at him like he's James Bond. But, all right, man. We'll look forward to that next book.
All right, man.